As we get started, the tradition is to do prayer over the land and do prayer over the people that we, touch in this time. So we invite those that can hear us to join us if you'd like, but I'm going to turn it over to our beautiful family, our Mama Tiny, Mute, Amir, Tibucio, and Zaire as they do a prayer of danza as we begin this day of celebration.
We'll start first, with the 4 directions. Just gonna, take it the 4 directions, and then we're gonna after 2 danzas. Again, like Mama Blue was saying, we always start with prayer, and everything that we do here at POBRE Magazine. We recognize that thanks to our ancestors, thanks for their sacrifices, is that what we even here. Again, with the same thing with POBRE Magazine, with the same thing with Homefulness, there's a lot of people who had this dream. They are no longer with us, with their ancestors. And so, again, we keep that in mind. And also, it's a beautiful thing. We're right in the middle of construction, literally some housing, constructing also this beautiful radio station, a poor people-led radio station that you can hardly hear in this mainstream America, right? To hear our voices. So it's small. It always starts small when you're building stuff, and just giving this the time and the sacrifice it takes when you're building something up. It's never easy. When you start something new, a new project, when you start a new school, when you start a new relationship, man, it always takes a lot of work, takes a lot of energy from you. But we know this is just the beginning. So we'll start with the 4. Anything that you guys want to say?
No, I'm glad to be here.
Glad to be here. So we'll start with the 4 directions. You guys more than welcome, to join us. So we start with the E's, which is in our tradition is Quetzalcoatl. It's also the energy of the man. And when I say man, I don't mean the machista, the male supremacy that we live in America. I'm talking about those men, the warrior people. They take care of the community, they take care of their families, they take care of themselves. That warrior man that still exists out here, So we call that spirit, we call our brothers too, who are lost in these streets, to bring that energy, to remember how the true way of being a man taught by our ancestors. Now we salute the west, which is also the direction in our tradition, Chipetote. It's also the direction of the woman. And again, just the same thing. If it wasn't for our mothers, if it wasn't for my aunties, if it wasn't for Mama D, or it wasn't for Dory's mom, Audrey's mom, Mama Blue, we wouldn't be here. So we thank the energy of the women, of the caregiver. There's so many sacrifices that women does for us on the daily Mother Earth. So we thank that energy, and we thank all the warrior women around the world. So now we thank the North, which is a direction of Tezcatlipoca in our tradition. It's also the direction also where ancestors, our old people rest, the people with wisdom, the people who have walked more steps in life than we have done. So we thank all of the ancestors, people who passed away. Again, our elders, Uncle Al, Mama D, Malcolm X, MLK, all the great leaders, all the great ancestors who walked this life, who paved the way for us to be here. Oh my damn. And now we face the direction of the south, which also is the direction of which Locostly in our tradition, which is also the direction of the young people, of the children. And again, yes, we have some young children, some young warriors in here, so we also, acknowledge that, acknowledge that everything, as we start babies, as we start crawling, we start walking, but also the innocencia, the pureness of their mind, you know, before it gets corrupted by some of these ideas in this society that we live. So we also thank and acknowledge the children in our lives, the children in ourselves, that sometimes we forget. We all carry our children in ourselves that some of us, you know, forget about. So again, naming that energía. Oh, Mateo. In the middle, we celebrate the sun, the Santo Natiu. You know, again, in our tradition, the sun, it helps us to grow the vegetables, to grow the fruits. You know, and again, something beautiful is that the sun always shines, right? And no matter what we do, or we make a mistake, and we hurt Mother Earth, and we mess with the cosmos, and we mess putting satellites up in the air, the sun always comes back and greets us, right? Always shines again after the end of the day. It always comes up into a sunrise without being egotistic, without saying, oh, today I'm not going to bring no sunlight to those humans because they being really bad. They're treating me like crap. Again, so the unselfishness of the sun, of Mother Earth, we thank that energy.
Oh, Mateo.
Last thing, we thank the middle, which also is the energy of Mother Earth, Tonantzin Tlali in our tradition. You know, Mother Earth, we know it's a living thing. We know, you know, it carries ourselves, it carries the water, it carries the fish, it carries the plants. The roots are within, you know, Mother Earth. So we know she's alive. And I think in this moment, she's showing us that she's sick, that she needs to be helped, that she needs to be helped. And again, we all have an impact. We all have put our little grain of sand to make this, you know, a better place, a better land, by even not polluting our own communities, not even polluting our own selves, our own minds. So again, we thank the energy again of Mother Earth. Again, without any egotistic, she always gives without asking anything back from us. So we know she's alive, and we thank her. We acknowledge that, you know, and we also acknowledge the energy of the mother, you know, and the mother and how unselfish mother care for their young ones and care for themselves and their families. Oh, Mateo.
Oh, Mateo.
You know, so now quickly we're just going to offer some danzas, which is a form of prayer through body movement.
And also just to say, shout out to our brothers and sisters, hermanos and hermanas in Puerto Rico, in DF, Mexico, in Texas. Today's prayer is specifically dedicated to the tragedy of Mother Earth and all of her Earth peoples in these moments of so much pain. Specifically to Puerto Rico, we are activating change. That is the concept of homefulness. So we're sending that. We're asking everybody here, mando energía, send your energy to this fire, to this drum, to this way. And as Uncle Muteado said, when we dance, we are praying with our feet. So again, we are praying through our bodies, through Mother Earth, and through all of us. Oh, Mateo.
What do you guys want to do first? Maybe you can do it by facing them. Right. Just face away. Yeah, just you don't want to give it back either. So maybe just, you know, you can be right here, or where Tiny was, and up here. Yeah, maybe over here. You offer it right in here. And then maybe Tiny, you can. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. And so, you know, people will be living without energy.
We dance to honor our food. We dance to honor our life, what gives us life, and what sacrifices their life every day for us. So, omete.
Mateo.
Show you guys what we do. I mean, not say something about that. So, what I'm saying is, in spite of everything that's going on, you know, the hurricanes and the earthquakes and all the natural disasters, as they call it, this is done unseen. This is the earth, and the only thing she's doing is she's trying to cope with all of the damage that we've been doing her for the last 500 years. And I just want to give a quick prayer to Donna to help her say that this is people again, it's not governments, it's people in Mexico and Puerto Rico. They're just people, you know, they're just people just like us trying to live their lives. And I'm just trying to give a quick prayer to Donna just to help her out with this and help her out with coping all the damage that us humans caused.
Mateo.
Small of a space before, and we exactly we fold ourselves into whatever space, because every space is a prayer. Every area is a place that you can do a new prayer, whether it's praying to God or praying done unseen, praying to KEXU.
Come on, baby.
Any God that you believe in. It's not about the space that you pray in, it's about the prayer that you give. And I also wanted to just say that Don Unseen is kind of a special dancer for me, because that was one of the first that I learned. So is Guajolote, that was the first that I learned. And I just want to give it up to Amir Zaire again for doing this dancer.
And we're going to have them
they just started,
their own permiso.
And yeah, they're going to do their own permiso, just give them a quick thing. And also, we're part of Calpulico and Liquid. That's our dancing group. We're in Veil. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to the people who taught all of us how to dance.
Oh, Mateo.
Quick permiso. You want my permiso?
Right there. corners of Mother Earth
Hey,
in
Chris.
all of our hearts. So, Mama Blue, please come in. So, I've come around and I've blessed everyone that is here present with us with frankincense oil. And thank you all for being so committed to the long journey of healing. And that's what POBRE Magazine really means to me. It's a space for healing, and we welcome you in, Brother Chris. I don't want you to stand on the outside. Come on in, Brother Chris. Come on in. And here, before you go, here's a little blessing, a little healing. Hello, somebody. Are you about to take the frankincense? Do you mind if I put it on your forehead? All right. May you be healed. May the blessing be with you. And, you know, growing up as a young girl, I was introduced to a lot of different denominations and ways of praying and ways of basically giving thanks. So I've come to this place in my life, the crossroad in my life, the issue in my life, where human meets the other world. And the other world is the world that we transition over into, which does not mean that we no longer exist. Oh, Mateo. It's just a grander level of the experience. Oh, Mateo. So as we usher in, I'd like to acknowledge our elders that are here first. Our elders that are here, Brother Bilal, thank you so much for being here. Sister, thank you so much for being here with us. And I'd like to ask the eldest in this space if we can continue to move forward. Mother Kathy and Father Bruce, do we have your permission to continue moving forward? Beautiful, thank you so much. So, also in honoring all of the traditions that we all come from, all of the lineage that we all come from, and we celebrate and acknowledge that in the now. Oh my. There are so many members of the POBRE Magazine family, we can't even keep count. So for all of those people also, all of those amazing, beautiful lives that are a part of this entire evolution of an idea, the birth of an idea to continue persevering forward, despite what we've been through.
Oh, yes.
Despite the change that they tried to put on us, despite any of the injustices that we have encountered and had to endure, we lift off that spirit that says that we do not have unlimited supply. We have unlimited supply. And that unlimited supply comes when we join together and hold hands and hold each other's hearts. Compassion and grace. So I would like to invite all of our ancestors in this space with us. And I would love for you to share an ancestor's name that comes to you. An ancestor doesn't just mean someone older. Ancestor is one that has made the transition over to the other side. And they were complete in their works on this side and are now diligently working from the other side. So the first pour is for, I will say, thank you, Mama D, for this beautiful family. And we say Ashe.
Ashe.
I'd like to then thank I'm not going to name each one of them. I'm just going to say my grandmothers and grandfathers, foremothers and forefathers that have come before me, whom bloodline I share, that I continuously celebrate them and acknowledge them for their doings. Ashe.
Ashe.
Please share an ancestor that you would like to join us in this space.
Al Roba.
Al Robus. Thank you, Al. Uncle Al. Ashe.
Myrtle Mackins.
Ashe. And if you're saying them at the same time, it is all right. We are just calling them collectively together in this space.
Torian Deja Hughes.
Ashe.
Lila Moore.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Teresa Garrison.
Ashe.
Chacha Chino Soleil.
Ashe.
Chidi Tomas.
Ashe.
Alfonso Texador.
Ashe.
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 Amir Perez.
Ashe. Ashe. Say their names, please. Say their names. Give them life in the now. Juana Sykes. Ashe.
Elder
Michael
Freeman.
Kaplan.
Ashe.
Gwendolyn Fuller.
Ashe.
Shorty Ramos.
Ashe. All of the children that have lost their lives to the senseless violence in the streets, all of the mothers that have lost their lives to domestic violence, all of the people around the world that have lost their lives because of greed. Ashe.
Louise Shea.
Ashe.
Lacey.
And the poor folks on the street who died because of that same greed, specifically for Mario X in Tongvaland, Papa Bear up in San Francisco,
Ashe.
Miguel over in Deep East Oakland just the other day. Oh my God.
Ashe. And as we wrap this piece up, we just acknowledge you, Mother Earth, for enduring all that you do. Thank you for never letting
Come
us
on, you're
go.
welcome, sister.
Thank you for holding us. Thank you for nurturing us. And all of the elements, we acknowledge that their forces join together to give us air. Ashe.
Ashe.
All right. As we move forward in this piece, all of the beautiful family members that we have here with us, many of us have prepared a piece that talks about, you know, us going on air, what, you know, the root of KEXU, and what this broadcast means to us, and what type of content we are going to be putting out into the airwaves to continuously liberate the people in our resistance to the injustices that have been forced upon us. So thank you so much. My name is Tanika Blue. I don't know if I've ever said my name, but my name is Tanika Blue. I originally from San Francisco, but I love Oakland. I spend a lot of time in Oakland, and I have a beautiful family here in Oakland. So I invite my family from San Francisco to join me in Oakland, you know, as we continue to do the work that needs to be done in uplifting, educating, and edifying the spirit of love. The segment that I am going to be contributing to KEXU is why it's all connected. Why? Why does it matter that we pray for the families and people in the Caribbean, Puerto Rico, Texas, from China to from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean? You know what I mean? And all in between. And the journey that many of us had to basically go through to get here, you know. So why it's all connected is one of the shows that I'll be contributing to KEXU. And would anybody like to go first, or Mama Tiny, would you like to share a little bit of the background before we get into that, please?
Yeah, just so people understand, it's called KSU for a reason. SU in the Ifa tradition is the crossroads. I personally am a child of SU. My mama was a Afro-Boricua woman. My dad was a colonizer, so I walked through the world looking white. But I follow the Ifa tradition as well as my Mexica ancestors. Long story short, KSU came to us. So the crossroads was intentional. We tried to call this radio station something else, Poor News Network, because of course we've been doing Poor News Network for 21 years. If folks don't know, Poor Magazine, Prensa, POBRE started in the backseat of a car when me and my mom were houseless, which happened for the entirety of my childhood, starting when I was 11. It is in Americlan a crime to be unhoused, to not have access to a roof, to not have enough bloodstained dollars to pay for apartments. And in our case, it was poverty. My mom was disabled. She was unable to continue on the hamster wheel. And the reality is, like a lot of our folks, the trauma was too great. And as a poor woman, as a child of color, unprotected, she was in orphanages and foster homes where she was literally tortured. So yeah, when she scraped her way out of welfare and got another job and did all these things that they tell you to do and pull up your bootstraps when there was no more bootstraps to pull, she was unable to continue in that particular trauma of the plantation system work model. And we ended up with no money. No money, couldn't pay the rent, and we got booted out. That was when I was 11 years old. I had to drop out of the institutional schools of learning where I enrolled full-time in the School of Hard Knocks, where I'm proud to say I graduated with a PhD.
Hey, that part.
But all that
Poverty
to
scholar.
say, I'm not lifting up poverty as an experience. It's genocide on our people. And what I'm lifting up is the fact that inside of that experience that is talked about, not talked with, that is studied and researched by AKKdemia, multi-million-dollar grants are created by eugenicist grant foundations to study us. We actually have agency. We have beauty, we have love, we have liberation, we have art, and that's what this is. And what we're really moving toward is living off of the bloodstained dollars, right? We're not there yet. Bloodstained dollars is real. Money is real. So we know, folks, and we do need that cash. We're doing food here today. We're doing coffee because we gift our community. We know what it is to be hungry. We've been there. We already been there. We always are in that struggle.
Hello, family.
All that to say,
You're welcome.
as we move forward, KSU is about opening the crossroads. It's about making sure that the voices of poor people, indigenous peoples, houseless folks, disabled folks is leading the dialogue. Not stepped on, talked about, and incarcerated, but leading the dialogue on our own solutions. Can I get a witness for self-determination? No poverty pimp, no grant pimp, and no government hoe built those houses. This is by the people right here in full effect. And it ain't done yet, and we are still grabbing and struggling and hustling for dollars. So if anybody can kick down, is watching, is listening, please do. This is not an accident. This is hard work. This is struggle. And this is so direly needed right now because too many of our folks are right out on these streets, and these streets kill. I want to say to Ashe, Irish Canada, 100-year-old black elder who was evicted because that's what capitalism does. Evicted at 100 years old. That ain't no surprise, family. That's the logical progression of capitalism with 3 Ks. Let's be really real about that. And so, yeah, we work really hard to actually manifest liberation, and manifestation is so hard. It's so hard. I can't give you enough words to describe the struggle of me and Motialdo and Lori and Leroy and Mama Blue and Audrey and all of us trying to actually manifest every day in America KKK in a way that they ain't supposed to be doing. But change won't come from a savior, a pimp, or an institution. Change will only come from a poor people-led revolution.
I say.
So that's KSU, that's the roots, but it's everybody's station. Welcome to the family. If this is your first time here, please know this is your home.
I say.
We are standing on the future home of the Sliding Scale Cafe, which means you eat whether you got some bloodstained dollars in your pocket or not.
Ashe.
You don't need to wait for a building. We do this every Thursday. The neighborhood knows we pull out the organic food because we don't need to be putting more diabetes-causing food up in our beautiful bodies. We need to be liberating ourselves from these man-made diseases and these colonizer teases. So, all that to say, that's the roots. We'll talk more And what we want to do is open this mic to folks who came with poetry, with station IDs, with song dedications, because this is all y'all. So I know there's some new folks who are coming. I'm excited. Any other family want to talk about their future shows? Oh, here comes Bruce. Uncle Bruce. Come on over, because this is where it's going to all go down. We're doing a remote broadcast at our own place.
And she just said we're doing a remote broadcast at our own place. Our brothers are working as we speak to make sure that we get our antenna properly adjusted so that the signals can go across the bay and we actually get really good air time. So I'm going to turn the microphone over to Bad News Bruce, and thank you so much for tuning in.
I am the translator of City Hall's gobbledygook, where in the city of San Francisco, where we had 10,000 homeless people, there are 30,000 vacant units. People are buying condos that they're never going to use. Whole floors of condos, they're never using it. They're just using it for the dollars, the blood-stained dollars. If anybody with a soul knows that if you need a house, give that person the house that's on the street. He's not going to throw chicken bones out the window or dumpster dive in the rumors that they say. You give him a home, he will live, get him back to a normal life. He might be a great future entrepreneur and anything. All you gotta do is believe in yourself and others. There's no such thing as a poor soul. There's actually, all souls are beautiful.
All right, Bruce.
Thank you very much. This is Bad News Bruce signing out with my co-partner, Cassie.
Give it up to Uncle Bruce. All right.
I think at some time in the future, we should do a, what do you call it? Roast Tiny.
A roast Tiny.
Roast Tiny.
My son would like
Have
that one.
anyone and everyone that has experienced is still alive because of her health. Has housing because of her health. That's true. Has family because of her health. Have food because of her health. Speak out all at one time and say, thank you, Tiny. And Tiny, you need to take time and pat yourself on the back because you're still turning out and you're still doing a good job and you don't recognize it in yourself. Give yourself a hard pat on the back.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. KEXU 96.1.
Let's have the youth scholars tell a little bit about Youth Poverty Scholars Radio and TV. Come on, youth scholars, come over here.
Please give it up for our youth scholars.
Scholars! Holla!
And for everyone that's going to be speaking, please go to the table at this point. And we need to make space for folks to get to the table as well, because that's the platform.
Okay. And then say Mari. Say Mari. Be careful, guys. I know we're all jacked up here with our...
I'm about to be talking about Youth Poverty Scholar Radio at 96.1 KEXU, and so just a little bit about what we do. At the end of we have a school, Decolonized Academy. It's right back there. That's where we have the school. It's a liberation school. And so after the school, there's an after-school program that we have, and we do a radio show right now, but we don't really have the radio up and running yet. But what we do is we do a YouTube Live, and so we talk about different stuff that's affecting children in our communities. Like, for instance, last week we talked about climate change, and we interviewed one of our teachers. Her name is Teacher Jasmine, and she's our biology teacher.
Speak up.
Teacher. And she just talked about permafrost and how that's affecting the atmosphere. And you guys can look it up. It's on PNN Poor News Network YouTube channel. And so that's all I gotta say real quick about our radio. So
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Amir. Youth YouTube KEXU 96.1. We've been talking about climate change, like Hurricane Harvey, and yeah, about the climate change. Zamari was talking about Hurricane Alma. He will tell you about it. And I was working on a what do you call it? I was working on a project that could help, innovation project to help Mother Earth using without electronics, like a solar go-kart, like used by the sun. And that's all I had to say.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Zaire, and I'm going to be talking about on KEXU 96.1 Youth Poverty Scholars Radio. I talked about racism and how it affects our poor people. I think that how it affects our poor people, people are racist and they don't care about other people. They just care about themselves. And I think we need to stop that and let them know that that is not fair.
Oh,
Hi, my name is Amari, and I'm going to be talking about Hurricane Irma. Over 60 people have gotten killed in Hurricane Irma, and that's all I got for now.
Ashe, baby. Poverty scholars.
Somebody could just say somebody about the decolonists.
So I'm gonna say a quick thing about our newspaper. This is our 8th edition of the Colon News. It's the newspaper for Colonized Academy. This one is about the foods and how it's affecting our community. This is the second one. Actually, our first newspaper was about the foods, and so this is the second one. This is updated a little bit by like our recent research. It talks about genetically modified organisms. It talks about preservatives. Just talks about all the stuff that's killing our communities with obesity and cancer and diabetes. And so pick up this $2. I was gonna say your neighborhood retailer, but this is our neighborhood retailer. So,
Please
okay, I'd like to see y'all on 96.1 KEXU.
All right, T-Boo.
Youth Poverty Scholars. Uncle Leroy, maybe this.
We're going to turn the mic over to Leroy,
All right.
Poverty Scholar, Crip Hop Nation, author, and educator. Everybody welcome.
Leroy. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Oak. I want to tell you a story. When I was growing up, I used to stutter a lot. And I used to live right across the street from the rock station. I wanted to be a DJ. Everybody's loud. It's like, hey, DJ, you can't talk. Well, today, Poor Magazine has its own radio station. KEXU 96.1fm. I'm going to be doing what I call Crip Hop
Nation.
Now, Crip Hop is not only hip hop by artists with disabilities, we are activists. So, for example, in this month of September alone, 7 disabled black men have been shot by police. You don't hear that on, KQD. Or even our left radio station, KPFA. You don't hear that. But here on KEXU, you will hear it. You'll hear people from Africa, disabled people from Africa, really advocating. You'll hear the new left president in Peru. He's kicking ass. He's disabled. He wants Medicare for everybody. He's a left president, so we're gonna have him on the radio station.
All right.
So you know, those are the kind of stories that you're gonna be listening to. Peace.
Peace.
No, the Black Cripple.
The Black Cripple.
Yeah. Yeah. Eardrum.
Yes.
Everybody give it up for the Black Cripple. In your eardrums at 96.1 FM KEXU. So now at this time we'd like to invite our sister Lori up, please. Ow, ow.
I got you. I got you.
That's definitely a practice that we do in this space of Homefulness, Poor Magazine, Decolonize, is hold each other. When the rest of the world abandons you, we hold each other. No matter where you come from, we hold each other. So thank you, Sister Lori, and who will you be presenting yourself as on air?
My name is DJ Ecstasy.
Take your platform, Ecstasy. Take your time, Queen. Safe haven.
I love blue. So soothing, so colorful and beautiful, and we have so many amazing and beautiful people here. You know, you are all amazing. You are all beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm here up here to talk a little bit about POBRE as an arts institution. You know, why art? Why art? Why art, media, dance, poetry? You know, because first and foremost, POBRE Magazine is an arts institution, arts and cultural institution. Okay. Yes, we're political. Yes, we're revolutionary. But some people have asked, why communicate the truth so imprecisely? You know, art is fungible, art is soft, art is like fog, it expands, it contracts, you're not exactly sure what it is, but you know it when you see it. You know, it's not academia, you know. I mean, you can write academic writing in an artistic way, but yeah, he popularized the idea of the culture of poverty, right? Culture of poverty. So, let me read you a little bit about the culture of poverty. Okay. This states, the people in the culture of poverty have a strong feeling of marginality, of helplessness, of dependency, of not belonging. They are like aliens in their own country, convinced that the existing institutions do not serve their interests and needs. Along with this, a feeling of powerlessness is a widespread feeling of inferiority, of personal unworthiness. This is true of the slum dwellers of Mexico City, who do not constitute a distinct ethnic or racial group and do not suffer from racial discrimination. In the United States, the culture of poverty that exists in the Negroes has the additional disadvantage of perceived racial discrimination. People with a culture of poverty have very little sense of history. They are a marginal people who know only their own troubles, their own local conditions, their own neighborhood, their own way of life. Usually they have neither the knowledge, nor the vision, nor the ideology to see the similarities between their problems and those of others like themselves elsewhere in the world. In other words, they are not class conscious, although they are very sensitive indeed to status distinctions. So this is what we're supposed to be. This is the culture of poverty. Not sensitive. We don't have the ideology. We don't have the wherewithal to understand how our situation relates to somebody's situation in Mexico City, or over in the TL in San Francisco, or in Omaha, or you know, we're not you know, we just don't do that. We can't do that. Okay, so I want to say that we use arts because we communicate our values through arts. We communicate our values through arts because regardless of our lack of material wealth, of stuff and things, we have a spiritually rich and moving culture. The culture of poverty is a spiritually rich and moving culture. And just like Sister Blue said, wait, what did she say? I wrote it down because it was so good. Lift off the spirit that says we do not have limited supply. We have an unlimited supply. That is our culture. Okay? It is those, I believe, it is those standing in the security of bloodstained dollars who have no vision or ideology to see past their own situations, to overstand the problems, the struggle, and the conditions that we poor folks survive through every MFing day. Communicate with art, because art transcends status, it transcends set tripping, it transcends boundaries. A theater skit can take Joe Yuppie out of his white, velvety, smooth, perfumed skin and put him in my skin. Okay? And once that happens, he learns something. So that's what it is. That's why we use art. We are culture, and we're creating culture every day, and our culture is a culture of strength, and it's beautiful. And I want to thank you all for being here. KEXU.
All right. I'll take it. All right, Lori. You coming? Okay.
All right, here you go.
Brain damage.
Brain damage. Come
How
on
y'all doing
around.
today?
All right. Here, you'd be better. It's underneath here. Wait, it's under the thing.
So here, let's have you step in, bro.
Yeah, because that's what this is designed for.
It's too much to step in.
I wanted to be right here.
Okay,
He said that's what he want to be.
Okay.
Let me just move this real quick.
Okay.
Thank you. So, I apologize for all that. My name is Brain Damage. I'm representing that 41510. Come from San Francisco. I live in Oakland now. And as you can see, I got bad knees, but you know, being from poor people's struggle, sometimes you know that you have to sacrifice and go through some pain to get your message across. So I'll be representing that sports and resistance, talking about issues like the peaceful protests that was started by former San Francisco quarterback Colin Kaepernick, kneeling for the national anthem. You know, he started by sitting on the bench. And, you know, I don't want to take nothing from Kaepernick, but every time I went to the game, I never stood for the national anthem. I sat on the bench, so he got it from me. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, he was, on a serious note, he was visited by a Green Beret who told him, you know, there's a better way of going about this to get your message across and take a knee, like so many have done. You know, when soldiers are killed in battle, they're, you know, the troops will take a knee during the services, and so he's still
to Brother Bilal as he comes and he shares the true revelation of the revolution.
All right, all power to the people.
All power to the people.
Get started here, KEXU 96.1 FM. Revolution for People's Radio and TV, controlled by and brought to you by revolutionary poor people. We say revolutionary poor people because there's two types of poor people. There's revolutionary poor people and there's reactionary poor people. Okay. All right. The reactionary poor people, they internalize the lies and the narrations that come through them from mainly the media, right? They internalize and they blame themselves for the oppression. They blame themselves for being in poverty. They blame themselves for being homeless. They blame themselves for their dire conditions as a reactionary. And that reactionary is narrated and prompted by the media. But Revolutionary People's Radio, revolutionary poor people, we're going to counter that. We're countering that paradigm because we're coming at revolution. We will not take the blame and blame ourselves, but we will blame this this archaic, parasitic, oppressive, patriarchal system that is the main root cause of all our problems and all our dire conditions. So we're going to flip that. We're going to flip the reactionaries into the revolutionaries, right? We're going to put them in that column. Because we understand where we're coming from. There seems to be three types of people in the world, right? Three people that ride in the three lanes. And have, first type, I would say the one type of people is those people who make things happen. All right. Then that other position is those people who watch things happen. Come on. And then that third position is those people wonder what the hell just happened. So we're going to be moving people from that what the hell just happened column and moving people from that just sitting around watching what happened column into that column that make things happen. And that's coming from KEXU 96.1 Revolutionary Radio TV. That is what we are about. I want to give shout outs to my political prisoners wards, Rochelle St. Q. McGee, Romaine Chip Fitzgerald. Two political prisoners came out of the struggle who are now doing a combined 99 years in the California Department of Concentration Camps and Torture. We say free all our political prisoners.
Free our political prisoners.
And we will free all our political prisoners.
And we will free all of our political prisoners.
We're not going to forget about those who sacrifice their lives, their freedoms to get out here and struggle for the people. Because they are the people. And because of that, that's the only crime, that they wanted to change these guys' dire conditions. They wanted to organize to oppress people, and because of that, they were hunted down, they were killed, they were exiled, and they were put in these gulags. So we're going to be making these campaigns happen. We're going to be talking about that on the show I will be hosting. That show is called Message to the Grassroots. And we'll be talking about our political prison wars. We'll be talking about the California Department of Concentration Camps and Tortures, about those brothers in there. We'll be talking about the new prison movement that is going to turn these California slave pens into universities of revolution. And we'll be letting these people coming out of these prisons. They'll be coming out as whole. If revolution's not broke men and women. So we're going to be discussing those things on the show. Mainly we're going to be discussing how we're going to get out of this rut, y'all.
All right.
We're going to be discussing the difference between organizing and activism. All right, we're going to talk about not just out there talking about it, but being about it and moving our people against this racist, parasitic, white supremacist, white power structure system. Okay? It's one thing to take down the monuments, right? That's one thing. Take down Robert E. Lee's monuments, Justin Herman Plaza, Berkeley. That is one thing. We can take down all these monuments tomorrow. But what those monuments represent will still be here.
Okay,
come on. Because it ain't about a goddamn monument, it's about the goddamn system. It is the system that is doing this here every day. Not no stone, concrete image, okay? But I can understand people getting with that. I understand, but people need to understand, taking down a monument does not change that. Just like some of y'all carrying these slave masters, still carrying these slave masters' last name, right? So you're really that serious about these monuments and images and vestiges of slavery that represents that. You might want to think about changing your last name. Now, a name don't mean nothing, because I know a whole bunch of brothers out here named Keith Whiting, who got the why, right? But they out there selling dope to the people.
Come on.
They beating up their own people.
Come on.
They working with the police, and they got the most Africans name. So don't get me wrong here. It's not about your name either. It's about your heart. That's what you're about. But we're going to be talking about it. I'm saying, we're talking about these statues and monuments. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got them statues and monuments and those vestiges of slavery. You carry them in your pocket. It's called money.
That's right.
So I know you ain't going to start burning up no Benjamins, are you? And tearing up no Benjamins as a protest against vestiges of slavery. You're carrying your master in your pocket. You have to spend that. But we have no control over that. And that is the other issue. What we don't control is used as a weapon against us. So we're going to be at KEXU 96.1 Poor People's Radio and TV. We're going to be controlling that now. You understand what I'm saying? We're going to be controlling the narration We're going to be controlling the documentation.
That's right.
We're going to be in control of the truth.
That's right.
And that's what we're going to be about. Anybody got a problem with that, you ain't got a problem with poor people. You got a problem with the truth.
Hey!
And yourself.
And yourself.
So wake up and smell yourself.
Wake up and smell yourself. Text that and fax it out to you know what.
So anyway, I am very proud. I feel very honored. And I know I'm very privileged to be with the program and all these folks here. I'm down here with the salt of the earth, the cream of the crop. All right, especially out here in East Oakland on Black Arthur and Hutchins land, stolen land here. When we say free the land. Free the land. Free the land.
Free the land.
Man told me the other day, if you don't
free
like to go back to Africa, and I goes, well, look, I ain't never asked to leave Africa for the what first thing. I never asked you to bring me here. But I'll go back to Africa when the French go back to France, the Germans go back to Germany, and the English go back to Britain, and the Spaniards go back to Spain, right? And the rest of the Europeans go back to Europe. Right?
And
Then I'll think about going back to Africa. Then, all right. So anyway, just give you a little taste what we're gonna be bringing y'all. Hope this shout out to bring y'all come on out here today. This is a lovely day and a lovely event we have going on. You're gonna have to support us, and we need your support. You know, if you can't make it out. And if you're caught up in life, we understand that. You can't be out here on the streets with us all the time. What you can do, you can help us in other ways. And that mighty dollar, that if you want to get rid of these vestiges of slavery, and you got some Benjamins, and you know they was part of that, you want to protest, give it to POBRE magazine.
Right here. Right here.
Give it us.
Right there.
Give it here. POBRE magazine.
Redistribute that wealth.
Turn it around. Yeah, so
there he is right there. See? And
one of the things we always say is POBRE magazine is in fact PO. So this isn't like some little neoliberal request. We ain't no non-profiteers. We poor people, which means that we still living on that bloodstained dollar economy. And if you got a little to kick down to redistribute, please do. We also need to raise another $100,000 to actually build the physical building of the Sliding Scale Cafe and finish the poor mama houses for poor and unhoused families and children. So yeah, we do need your bloodstained dollars. And yet immediately goes into change work. What?
Ashe.
Us poor people, just because we poor, we can't get a little bit of a quick off? Come on now. You don't need a handler for your cash. Just saying.
All right. And like she said, we poor. We not poor. We poor. Because we can't even afford that on the O or that on. So you know what I'm saying? That's how poor we are. We just poor, y'all. So anyway, so again, this KEXU 96.1 Poor People's Radio, Revolutionary Poor People's Radio and Television. Come on out and support us, because you're supporting yourself when you're supporting us. You're supporting the people when you support you supporting POBRE magazine, because we are the people. And I would just like to, I guess that's all I got for right now. Oh, one more thing, just to make clear also too. You know, back in we're in East Oakland, and back in Oakland was the beginning of the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. And the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense program was revolutionary in communalism. And that part of that program was feeding the people, as we're out here doing it. The Sliding Scale Cafe does all the time. And one thing we push, and I still push, community control by the people of our community. And this station is taking that control. This station has got control. And the Panther Party, through the revolutionary communalism, we have what we call Serve the People programs. Because we knew what we did not control was used as a weapon against us, just like the media is used as a weapon against poor people, as the sister was saying about marginalized people. So this is in the spirit, in the tradition, and following that, this is a Serve the People program. This program is here to serve the people with the truth. It's to serve the people with the knowledge. It's to serve the people with the tools that we're going to need, not only to build, but to dismantle. Dismantle this damn system and build a new system, that's a new world that takes care of people. All power to the people.
All power to the people.
Thank you for tuning in to 96.1 FM KEXU Radio. Please tune in to POBRE News Network. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'd also love to share that because this is a PO people movement, at the end of the day, we rub our nickels together to make fire, baby. And the fire we making out here, you can get an advertisement. You can